Hi, it's Hazel and welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. If you're looking at this explosion and you're thinking, oh, she's doing an organizing video, you would be 100% correct. Let me just lay a little bit of groundwork here. I have had these two containers for the last, 2 or 3 years that I have just randomly been throwing stuff into that I thought would make good journal ties. Now, that thinking is still true. Some of these things definitely would make good journal ties, but obviously this is pretty unsightly, and I think I need one larger container instead of two smaller ones. So my intention today is to look through all of these things and decide, number one, do I still even want them? And number two, is there a better way to store them so that it's not so very, unsightly and unruly? A person really couldn't dig through this without, dumping the whole thing out and looking. And that's probably why I haven't done it. I mean, why I haven't chosen any of these as journal ties. So let's do something easy. Obviously, I bought, okay, what's happening here? I have this package. It says, it's a Dollarama thing, 65 feet. Oh yeah, that should be enough, of stretch elastic. So that is a good thing. And maybe I'll just, okay, so the box I've chosen is just this, this sort of flocked, bigger than a shoebox, I would say. Bigger than a traditional photo box as well. So I'm going to lay that in at the bottom. Now, clearly I have more elastic cord here. 5 yards and 5 yards and whatever this is. So I think for the time being, just so you don't have to, and here are ones that were obviously around, something. Maybe what I'll do, okay, let me dump this as well, and then I'll use this white basket just to throw the elastic in for the time being so that I can, either put it onto a spool or somehow, corral it and have it take up less room and be more, here's silver, and be more obvious as to what it really is. And of course, elastic is the perfect choice for a closure because it can expand and contract with the size of the journal. So I'm just putting that off to the side. Oh, look, I have all these packages of elastic as well. Now, something this tiny, they're saying it in millimeters. So it's, it's very tiny. Something like that obviously would have to be in proportion to the size of there must have been a deal on these that I have so darn many. It has to be in proportion to the size of the journal. Now this is 1/4 inch elastic. I'm just wondering if some of these things shouldn't, like I would never use this around a journal because it looks like, it should be around a garment or something. So I'm going to put the elastic that should be in another spot altogether, like with sewing elastic, in another little pile off to the side. Another piece of gold. Another piece of silver. Now, I think once I get this organized, the next best thing would be to actually, how about a latch hook? And how about dental floss? I wonder, maybe these were supposed to be with the journal binding supplies. That's where I'll put those. I think that once I'm done with this, I mean, obviously not today because that will be a big undertaking, I will, well, that I intended to do that as, oh, that's not elastic. I intended to do that already as a video idea, and that was to bring together, well, it might have to be like a 4 or 5 part video, to bring together all the, oh, see, I'm trying to think and do and talk all at the same time, and I'm probably not doing a good job of any of it. Okay, what I'm trying to say is I have so many started journals, so many covers, so many cardboards and packaging cut to become covers that I just need to get a grip on that. And so what I could do is when I pull all of those things together is maybe have this nearby and just at the same time, like for instance, if I had a journal that needed a navy shoelace that needed a closure, and and if this was the right length to go around twice and still have enough to tie, then this should be with the right journal. And in fact, I see there are 2 because obviously shoelaces come in 2s. This is actually very nice. There must be, well, there's obviously something inside it to give it body. Tell you what I'm going to do. I have a basket or bin or something for a blue journal. So I'm just automatically going to put this with that because that makes more sense than this does. This is another shoelace. And if you saw my Blush Journal series, you know that I used its mate around one of those small journals. So let's just start another little pile over here. I also have this roll of jute or something. And these, more than one of these, obviously I cut them down so we don't really know what this is. Oh, this is some sort of an elastic again, so I'll put that with the elastic. This is jewelry trim. 1/16 by 6 feet, 100% cotton, intended for craft use only. So maybe these non-stretchy things I will sort of put together. And you can see that I have, enough color, enough options here, both in width and material, like the stuff it's made of, to pretty well do any kind of a journal. What's this? Oh, this is a headband. But this could also work, providing, it stretches enough because it is sewn together here. And the only thing, to make it look less like a headband and more like an intentional thing would be to add, a brooch or a flower or something right there at the seam. I don't know. Maybe I'll throw it in the elastic one for now and see if that becomes too small. Now, I'm not entirely sure what this is, but maybe if it's got all these cut ends, so I'm thinking that they must be, okay, so it's a piece of kind of almost like, I want to say lacing, or it's not leather, I don't think. Okay, so 23. So it's about, each of these pieces is about 27 inches long. So, these could be put around some teeny journals, or I could also take them, but that would shorten them, obviously. Take 3 and braid them together to make them a little thicker. I'll put this with the non-stretchy stuff. Okay, what do we have here? Oh, leather cord, and I know there's more leather here. Oh, genuine leather lace. So we'll make another little pile off to the side with leather. Okay, sisal I'll put over there. What's this? Oh, this is an elastic. Now, this looks less like elastic than than this guy here. So I thought that this could definitely work. You know, once a person had a finished journal, you know, cut it to whatever is the right size, probably hand or machine stitch it, and then same thing, decorate that one particular area. So I think I will just roll this up, add a pin to it so it stays rolled up, and throw it in with the other elastic for the time being. Have you noticed that I haven't thrown out a single thing? Wonder if this will even go in there. Okay, if I do it that way. Okay, what's this? This might be a hair thing. Looks like I have others. Now these would also be cute on, you know, the right sized thing. So I'll put it with elastics. Oh, here's another pair of shoelaces. These are, boy, these look faded or something. They're discolored, but this could be, you know what, this might, I'm going to put these with the shabby. That might look better than this because of that blue. So I'll keep this together and we'll see if that works. So this is obviously a seam allowance from a garment. So I think I'll start another pile for things like that. Same thing, but this one is elastic. So these guys can go together. I guess I must have been kind of enamored with that color at some point, and that's why I kept it. Over here are more ponytail elastics. These guys are really tight. This probably is not even a credible, oh, here's another hot pink one of these. Probably not even a credible solution. So, oh, found more leather. Navy and green. Now I also have this. Let me just give it the old snifferoo. See, oh, all I can smell is my hand lotion. Okay, this could very well be leather. So I will keep it with the leather other strips that I have here. Okay, what's this? Oh, you know what? I think I salvaged this. How many of these do I have? Huh. I was going to say, I thought this was a fringe on, not a fringe, but a cuff on a sweater that I took apart, but how could there be 4 of them? So I don't know what's going on here. Obviously a lot of loose threads. I will, oh, there's more. What the heck? Huh. You'd think that, oh yeah, there's another one. Yeah, there was some green on that sweater. So you can still see there's some string. Okay, that already. I'm just, now this obviously has its own tie, but I'm trying to just try something on for size here. So, you know, if this was the right size, there's a wee bit of give in it. Of course, if you plucked all the green threads off, That could also be kind of cool. So let me gather these guys up. Maybe I'll just take this, let this be my homework this evening to get the rest of those, to finish plucking these, and then I'll keep them together. This is just some cord of some sort, probably came in a thrifted thing. I will put this particular color with my peacock stuff. So that's one good thing. Okay, what's this? Is this just braided? Like somebody braided hair? Huh. So it looks like I salvaged this off something. So I'm not sure what's going on here. Why is that tied like that? Probably to keep it from undoing. So maybe I will start another little pile. Oh, here's more leather. And here's more leather. I'll start another little pile, oh, and more leather. A little pile here for sort of fibers. Now, I've dyed this. I'm not sure what this stuff was used for in the first place. It's about 2 inches wide. Oh, made in China. Not sure why that is there. I honestly don't remember what I salvaged this from. But let me start at the other end. Clearly I coffee dyed it. So maybe I'll just quickly roll this up, because of course it will take a lot less space if it's a nice, neat little roll. Now this would also be great for a grungy project. It is pretty long, and I think you could see by this end that if you cut it, it could fray quite nicely. So that's kind of an advantage in some situations. So I guess if you are, look at this lovely red leather. I would hope that you would comment and tell me, number one, if you do something like this, do you keep these things in one place, potential ties for your journals, or do you keep them with the journal project as you encounter them, or do you make journals without ties? Or because sometimes obviously people can just use seam binding or sari silk ribbon or plain old ribbon. I have some of that here as well. I was hoping that this wouldn't take terribly long. Maybe it won't. So when I get this rolled up, I'm almost there. I will put this in the shoe or the empty box, because of course now it is easier. It'll be easier to see. And I wish I remembered what this came from. You'd think this would be a clue of some kind. Anyway, I'll just put a pin in it, and hopefully that's much better. Now this, it seems to me this was a belt, and I thrifted this. So can we all say hippy dippy doo-dah? Or hippie, wait, what was that expression? Hippy dippy, I don't know, I'm confused. So this is obviously a long thing. So that's 44 inches. I'm not measuring this very well. These dangly bits here, so there's a bead on most of these. I guess some of them, maybe the beads fell off. And this is, I don't know, what is this? Kind of, it almost makes a person think of macrame. I suppose if a person took it apart, which is something that I'm likely to do, Okay, I'm just trying to get a feel for this. 23, 46, 46 and 16 is about, 62. So about 5 feet long. So 62 inches. So I don't know, maybe I'll just put an elastic around this to hold it together. So I said, a person could take it apart. However, all you'd end up with is some kind of ratty looking cord. So I don't know. This may be one of those things that should actually get redonated back to wherever it came from. Here is something else that I guess I salvaged this off a garment of some kind. So this would be a belt. So these two ends are both, sort of finished in that way. This is something that's fancier. It has those 3 holes there. Oh, but it's got this. Okay. So let me just quickly roll this up again and clip it, pin it together so that it's more usable. But again, I guess the whole reason that I did some of this stuff is I must have taken a garment apart, maybe an apron or something, and then thought, well, let me coffee dye this so it would be ready. But then, of course, it has just been sitting. Yeah, so anyway, I think I started to say, in the comments, please let me know if you use ties. Maybe what is the most unusual thing you've ever used as a tie on a journal? Some of this stuff I think is strange, but who knows? Maybe you got me beat there. I also have this little, I think I might have snagged this off a baby bonnet. So I'll put it with the braided thing over there. That is a piece of, I don't know what that came off, but it's a piece of like fabric ribbon. So hopefully this will all fit kind of nicely, especially if I'm able to put some things in other places, like where they make more sense to be stored. And get rid of the hair ribbons. The other day I went for a massage, and the question always is, well, what are we working on today? So it's an hour long, and you can either have her focus on a problem area, or you can see how far she gets, kind of do a more cursory look, work on you, like work on the whole body, and probably not do too much good anywhere. I said, well, I don't think I grind my teeth at night, but I said, my jaw hurts. So I said, how about jaw, neck, upper back, lower back? And I thought that was kind of a reasonable request for an hour. And so this is just cloth. She set about doing that. And I'll tell you, when she found a tight muscle in my jaw, let me just tell you, the night before, would you believe that I got a cramp in a muscle right below my jaw? Like, obviously, our body is all muscles, but we're all familiar with, the cramp in the calf at the middle, in the middle of the night kind of thing. That is such a weird place to get a cramp, and it was kind of unsettling. This is off some vintage, an old auntie's vintage pajama bottoms. So I don't know. I should probably take the elastic out, find where the seam is, cut it open, take the elastic out. Anyway, creepy feeling having that that cramp. Anyway, she found this pressure point, or this point of this really tight muscle. I thought I was going to jump off the table. It hurt like heck. She obviously continued working on it and said that I should be putting an ice cube on it at home because it was going to be angry and it was going to hurt. So that's kind of funny when you think about icing such a tiny little spot. But I did do it. It still hurts though. Yeah, so strange. Anyway, why did I start telling you this? Maybe it'll come back to me. I should have had a reason for for even bringing it up, but who knows? Okay. I don't know. One of the most useless things I have here in the studio is my bag of elastics. And you know, you get some every time you buy a sewing assortment at a thrift store. Okay, so this should probably, I don't know, it looks kind of cool the way it is. Maybe I'll just roll it up for the time being. And if it stays here too much longer and doesn't get used, then it'll either get turned into a snippet, not a snippet, a ruffle, or maybe it's just time to let her go. Let her go, let her go. This pin may be too short to do any good here. Okay, I'm putting them like cinnamon buns in the little box. More, what is this? This is really fine stuff. You know, this stuff like this is probably better off with my jewelry supplies. Or, depending on how long these pieces are, I think this would be better off used to sew up journals. So that's where that's going. Okay, I have a bit of this cord. Well, I have several pieces of cord here. Oh, that's another shoelace. Okay, shoelaces go there. This, I think I have another, oh, I think I undid the stitching. This was closed. I think it was probably another hairband. So let me put this with the stretchy stuff. Oh, cord. I don't know if I have enough elastics right here, though. I might have to use ponytail elastics around these things. These guys are probably too small. Most of them are probably too small. But it does obviously contain a mess if you don't just let it be a jumble. But I just thought I was being so responsible by, oh, I shouldn't be putting that in there. I thought I was being so responsible, the fact that I was putting all this stuff in one simple place. Now this is two different things. They're both cords. One is kind of woven, one is more like a plastic lace. Oh, another shoelace. Or maybe not a shoelace, but I don't know what this is really. We'll put that with that. This fluorescent green. Okay, so we're having a little pile of these kinds of things. This would probably take dye very beautifully. It feels like it might be cotton. Here is something, whoops, that got salvaged from a piece of clothing. Oh, it's a very tiny little, it's bias tape. Huh. So, what I should probably do, I said I was going to wash that pajama elastic. Maybe I should let this go through the wash too and then iron it, and it'll be a little more usable. Or I could just stitch it closed. I don't know. Anyway, I guess I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. So a couple things will be washed. Okay, this, I'm not sure where this came from, but I like it. It's got this muted green and cream color. So, question, do you put ties around your journal? Or do you put it, do you have the foresight to put it in like an attached tie while you're still working on the cover? I remember way back when I was making my first journals, and I thought, oh, the attached tie, that is so awesome and so clever. And you don't have to worry about losing it, and you don't, and it's built right in, and it keeps it closed, and it's so smart and so beautiful. And then, of course, I'd make a journal and I'd forget to do it, because you had to know what you were doing. You'd have to remember what your intention was early on, because typically you would sandwich that between the inside cover and the outside cover. And yeah, I was kind of annoyed with myself. And I still don't think of doing that very often. But yet it is, kind of a real smart solution. And especially if you can, you'd probably do that with ribbon or seam binding or something fairly flat. Like that wouldn't really necessarily work with cord, because then you'd end up having that bulge in the cover, which is probably not the look any of us are going for. Let's see, is this guy big enough to go around? Okay, so we'll add this over here for the time being. Now this, oh, I might have salvaged this from a necklace. I could take that bead right off there, but let's leave it for the time being. This is a bit of fabric. So if you want something shabby, this might have come off a pillowcase, to be honest. I'm going to put this in with the grungy journals, because some of those smaller ones, this might be the perfect length to go around a couple of times. So I'll just add that to that bunch of things there. Now, of course, something like this, which is sort of a finishing type cord that you'd put around cushions or something like that, does fray very badly, like it would totally unravel. So that's why I've got the each end scotch taped. I know sometimes people singe it, with a candle or something like that, just to keep the fraying in check. I've also used art glitter glue, Yeah, art glitter glue, because the other one would be shiny. Fabri-Tac would be shiny. So I'm not entirely sure. This one especially doesn't seem to want to bend. It's so plastic. I don't know. I'll put that aside. That might be going in a donation box. Okay. So for now, I'll just pick up these cords, kind of get them lined up here, and see what my next step will be when I see how many of these I have to deal with. And this too should be, whoops, this will be another book binding thing because it's really too small. Unless something like this might be kind of cute on those little micro mini journals that I have made. Can you imagine if you had a tiny little journal and a tiny little tie? We'll see when we get to looking at some of those journals. Okay, let's see what's in here. Scrapbooks, closure number 3. Huh. So this is a D closure. Ay, I've got all kinds of stuff in here. This is not, what is this? I wonder if these were tiebacks. Honestly, can tell I haven't disturbed this container for ages. Throw that on the floor. Oh, this is lovely. But what is it? This is lovely. Huh. Well, this is lovely. This is obviously a self belt from something or other. Okay, what I'm going to do, these fabric-y kind of things, I'm going to put off to the side here because some of them may need a little freshening up. So that's with the pajamas, and so that's what I've got going there so far. Whoops, that just almost rolled away. Oh, look at this. And look what a beautiful red that is. Now, oh, it's like a blanket stitch that see, I probably didn't use, and it's pretty big. I probably didn't use this because I didn't know how to without having it all come apart. Yeah. If you have an answer to that, please put it in the comments. I love this red so much. And obviously, did I do that? Or was it stained and that's why I got it? Not sure. So this will go through the wash as well. I suppose, let me bring that back for a second. I suppose that a person could, cut that and then just quickly glue it or hand stitch it with a matching thread so it doesn't come apart. This could also be frayed and make like a little fringy thing here. So maybe this is more like a trim, a page trim as opposed to a tie. So that's what I'm thinking. That needs to be someplace else. Okay, this obviously I salvaged from something. Oh, and it's stained, so it's got pink on it. Then, oh, this is obviously from an apron. Oh, yeah, I remember this apron. Okay, this will go through the wash as well. Isn't this lovely stuff the way it's all crinkly? I love this fabric, by the way. Okay, so this is like a shabby. So we'll put this just on the side here. I'll roll that up later on a tongue depressor. This feels, this feels like satin almost. But it's not that shiny. I don't know what's going on there. But that, I'm putting this with the grungy. I'm putting, here's some seam binding that I obviously dyed. And this is small and shabby. I'm putting all of these shabby ones in the drawer here beside me. Because they may fit around some of those grungy journals. And the ones that don't, obviously, will then go back and live with the others. How about a belt, people? Wouldn't that be cool? It's a tiny, you know, it's narrow. That's only about 5/8 of an inch. So I'm going to just roll this up so that it's a little more contained. And I'll put that in the box here. And I'll show you this box at the end of the, when we're done here. Oh, zippers don't belong here. Or half a zipper. This, oh, you know what this is? These are handles off a reusable bag. And this is thick cord. This is thick cord. This is glittery. This is probably a headband too. Put that with the elasticy stuff. I'm just thinking that with this black, and these are black, are these shoelaces? Well, if they were, the little tips were cut off. I'm going to put all this black stuff with my black and white journal. I think that's it for that. It's right here behind me. Okay. Oh, what is this? Somebody added Velcro to this, so I don't know. This, I don't think this should be here. We'll find a better place for that. This pearl strand shouldn't be here either, I don't think. More elastic, yay! And of course, because these typically surface around Christmas or Valentine's Day, they tend to be metallic. So we'll throw that in that box. Holy cow, this is heavy. I don't know where I got this from. Somebody clearly put an elastic around it. This might be very nice if it was taken apart. Look how many strands. Or I guess that would, you know, that's just one. Huh. I'll put that there because I don't know where else to put it. This is beautiful. So I think, let me just hug this to myself here. Some of these things I'm going to, if I don't have an immediate journal, you know, basket or tote to put them in, I will just make a little pile here and I will wrap these things around, you know, the tongue depressor. Or maybe in this case, I'll just do it and put a stick pin on it because it's so wide. So this is a satin ribbon. And I'm not sure why I put this here as opposed to just with my other ribbons. Maybe I thought that it would be very cool as a tie because it's sort of got that, well, a design and it's kind of a nice width. I like these little stick pins, but man, are they hard to put through when you have many thicknesses. Okay. Okay, ribbon. Ribbon. So this would be great. You know what? I think this is probably better to use as a belly band. Same thing with this one. So these ribbons, I'm going to either attach them to pages right off, like soon, or put them back where they belong with ribbon. This will be wound up. Oh. This is elasticized, but it's sewn together, so I'll put it with the elasticy stuff. I'm not sure. I can't remember where I got this, but it too is like a braided thing. So I will put this with my blue journal stuff. I got a pile over there somewhere. Oh, look at this. This is rubber. So is this. I'll put this with my black and white stuff, and maybe I'll put this with the peacock stuff. Okay, what else we got here? This is a magnet. This is like a choker. Huh. That magnet is not strong enough to keep a journal closed, so maybe this has to go with jewelry. Okay. This is, there's a little cord in there. In fact, should I pull it out? Not sure about what to do with that. Here's some more cord. I'll just wrap this up. Look at how nicely it sort of frays. Oh, maybe this was, I don't know what this was. But we'll just make it stay together a little better than it is. Okay. Oh, that's the stuff I said would take dye well. Here's another piece of cord. You know, my dad has been deceased a long time, like 30 years. And, but one of the, he was a very, you know, he was an inventive person and like putzing around with stuff and so on. Well, this is really, this feels like this should be around a straw bale. Put that with the cord. Anyway, one of the things, okay, family of 3. Oh, here's more of that crinkly stuff. I need to do something with this. I love it. Anyway, 3 girls. So, you know, we were exposed to a lot of, I guess what you would have called masculine activities because, you know, if a guy needs a 9/16 wrench, who's he going to ask? He's going to ask his daughters because he doesn't have a son to ask. Anyway, so we learned a lot of practical skills that way. And one thing I remember, it's funny how you see something or you end up doing it yourself because maybe that behavior was modeled. So if I'm outside and there's an extension cord lying around, or a garden, well, not a garden hose, an extension cord, I wrap it, I put it here, and I wrap it around my elbow. And it's such a dad thing to do, which is maybe a strange thing to say, but it's one of those things that it just proves that the human body, and it doesn't seem to matter, it should, but it doesn't seem to matter, that we use our bodies almost like a measuring stick in some ways. I know that if I'm out and about and haven't, you know, packed a tape line and there isn't one handy to measure dimensions on something, I will use a part of my arm. I'll use a forearm or I will use a hand because it's kind of a built-in measuring device. I don't know, does that make any sense to you? Have you ever done that? See this, this is obviously something that I ripped off some fabric, but you can see how uneven it is too. So it gets narrow, it almost disappears, then it gets wide again. That's how crooked somebody cut it. So maybe I'll add these things to that little load of laundry I'm going to do. And then I will wind them up. And so the fact that I'm winding some of these things around, fingers has just made me think of that. I don't know. It's kind of strange. Probably thinking I'm losing. You're probably thinking I just had a stroke. Why is she talking about that? Okay, we're almost through here. Now this, must have come off two different from two different places. I remember taking something apart and ending up with these little bits. Now again, this is bias tape. This was obviously a tie on maybe an apron or something. So again, these things should be grouped together. So I'm taking the fabric-y bits. This was lovely too. I love that fabric. Here's a piece of, is this a headband too? Well, somebody tied it together. Anyway, we'll put it with the elastic stuff. Maybe these pale blue short pieces I should just keep with the, I'll put that stuff with the, what do you call it? The bird with the big tail. Peacock. Yay, peacock. And this, I almost feel like taking apart because that white thread is so in your face. Okay, so I'll do that. Here's a piece of burgundy wired ribbon. I'm going to put this someplace else. I don't know even how long we've been at this, but it feels like it's been forever. Okay, more fabric parts too. And I'm sure that if I went through my fabric scraps, I would find even more long strips of whatever. And again, you have to wonder, when is enough enough? Why? Okay, this is, I'm throwing this away. Enough is enough. Okay, is this a shoelace? Oh, this green one is. Okay, so these are shoelaces. Again, why only 3? Huh. So we'll put that with that. So believe it or not, I think we're almost at the end of this. I wonder what this came from. These 3, 4 things are the same. So let me bunch this up. Trying to get a longer elastic. Oh, I don't know. Are you fascinated by this by this process? Are you sitting there all smug thinking, well, I'm glad I'm not as bad as she is? Ay. I know that I have sat mesmerized looking at organizational videos thinking, man, that's so relaxing. Okay. I don't know that I've really compressed things that much. This is the stretchy stuff. These are those laces that I haven't done anything with yet. This is all, whoops, the leather Whoops, I dropped a bunch on the floor. This is all the leather stuff. Whoops, that's not leather, that's something fancy. Put it with the fabric. Now I will take these off these cards because that kind of annoys me. Okay, so that's not leather. Okay, this is all leather. And this. Oh, and we didn't take a good look at these. Okay, interactive journal-esque gift books made by you. The enclosed metal buckle and 24 inches of elastic ribbon are perfect as a closure, and it's removable. So I have to keep this on the packaging, obviously, to keep these things to keep the instructions, the how-to. Okay, let's see what we have here. So we have the two belts, the elastic. I'm going to just maybe stand these up at the back here. This is also fabric, so I might need to rethink. That's all shabby. Let's stack it up like that. We've got this green braid. We've got this, whatever it is, this little baby bonnet tie. Oh, remember these from the start of the video? I wonder about this. Maybe I'll put these in here as well. The sisal. Somehow I think if things are standing, they're a little more easy to see. Who knows what that was? Those are shoelaces. Okay, these things that I put elastics around, I guess I can stand up. This feels like it should be with some stuff that needs dyeing. These little, this is not wound up. Okay. You probably can't see what I'm doing. What, pray tell, is this? This seems so short. How could it possibly go around anything? So some of these things don't belong here because they're not long enough to serve the purpose. And you can see that as these cords start unraveling, the inner bit there that the cord is built around becomes exposed. Now, I guess if I work this knot down and trim that, well, I'll let that one stay for the time being. I didn't wrap these guys up. Shoelace. Psychedelic or neon green. Well, one thing, now mind you, I do have an overflowing, let me show you this. This is all the fabric that needs to be done, so I don't know if I really even saved any space here, to be honest. But I have, I guess, had a look at these things. Now, what do I do with this elastic business? Okay, I said I was going to put these elsewhere. So I'll put that with the other elastic. Maybe these two rolls can go in here. I didn't finish rolling that up. Here's more of this. Maybe I should just grab all these loose pieces. This isn't very neat, but at this point I'm getting just a little sick of doing this. So we'll stand those guys up. We'll put that roll in there. I think I have this in another color somewhere. Only 2 of those kinds of things, so we'll let them be, 3. More elastic. Another headband. Maybe I will, I'll find something to keep those guys together. Maybe that. Okay, I'm just going to bunch this up. This is what you do when you're sick of sorting and you just want it to be over. You grab it in your fist and you put an elastic around it, like so. And you postpone this till next time because you're sick of it. Okay, leather. Could probably leather cord. Well, maybe I have to put this down here, put that on top. For the time being, these guys get to stay on their cards. Again, because I've had enough. I can't take it anymore. And natural, I don't need, okay, what does this say? Perfect for beading, necklaces, lacing, and all kinds of accessories. 100% leather. Well, let me show you what I think of that. I'm going to cut this part off just to save that a bit of space there. We'll shove that down there. We'll put an elastic. Let me find one. Around these leather hanks. Maybe we'll let that stay on top there. We'll put this little piece of silver elastic around these, whatever they were. Tie a knot. Of course, that's not very practical because the minute you want one, you have to either cut that elastic or untie it. I said I was going to dye that. This ribbon, oh, this was, oh dear. Okay, some of that stuff is going to go to the ribbon home. The home for a ribbon. As opposed, oh, and these were all the ponytail elastics. I honestly don't. It'd have to be a pretty tough cover that could withstand this kind of pressure and not get the edge of it broken. So I'd say this goes into the bathroom for those hot summer days when I want to put my hair in a bit of a, get it off my neck. I never did think about why I started the story about the massage therapist, other than maybe the fact that this time I finally remembered to bring a ponytail elastic so that my hair wasn't in the way and getting all that oil on it. That could be the point of the story. Well, aren't you glad you stayed tuned for that big piece of exciting news and information? Yeah, that could have just been the point. Scary. Scary. Okay, I'm just putting a little elastic around these guys to contain them. This is not, this still looks a bit like a dog's breakfast, honestly, but At this point, I'm so over this. I just want this to be done. Oh dear. When you power out, you power out. Or maybe I should say when I power out, I power out. And maybe what I should do with these last remaining pieces here is just sort of do, you know, this. Kind of get them all somewhat uniform in size. I don't know about that. This was the part of a necklace or something. I have quite a few necklaces that were kind of this kind of thing. Cords, because of course the allergy to cheap metal. So maybe I'm just going to, so these are the sort of the shoelace pieces. I'm just gathering them all up in this one hand. And I will put, it would help if I put that down and this would work a bit better. Sorry if I'm out of range, but again, I just kind of want this over. I know that's not fair to you, so I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get these guys kind of folded in quarters, a little uniform in size. This is going to be shorter, but at least now I can grab them all in one little fistful. Add some kind of an elastic to it. And of course, you know how sometimes elastics don't last worth a darn. And then before you know it, all your well-laid plans have kind of just sprung apart because the elastic is gone. But this still looks better and takes up less space than the way I had it before. And honestly, what about the worldwide sales of elastics? Everybody has millions of elastics. And every time I buy a sewing basket or whatever, or a miscellaneous sewing thing, like these, oh, I know why I have all of these. This is the size that you need for a Midori journal. Let's keep these guys together. I paid full retail for this, man. So let's keep this obviously together. Dye this, put this with elastic, take the stitching out of this. We can add this one. Those I was going to probably just put back with their ribbon cousins. This is fabric. This is ribbon. This is this stuff that doesn't bend. Okay, so I think I am going to call it quits. I have this to add to the next load of laundry. Maybe this should have gone into this little bundle here. Probably can't see what I'm doing. I'm sticking it in with those shoelaces and other small pieces of cord. Well, I have to say, this does look slightly better. It just kills me when I see all this extra packaging. So, you know, I cut it off and then I don't know what it was. Ha ha, ha ha, ha ha. Okay, she's slowly but surely losing her mind. Okie dokie, kids. So once I pluck this, let me just give this a sniff to. Oh, this needs washing too. I'll throw that in the wash. I'll deal with this once it's out and clean. Maybe I should wash this one as well. It's got tape on the end, so hopefully that doesn't come apart in the wash and become. That's going back with ribbon. Blue is going to blue. These little fine things I'm going to add to my journal binding, along with this stuff, dental floss. Okay, so I don't know that I've really saved us a whole bunch of space here, but it certainly looks a little more organized, a little more like it not quite such a, it doesn't look like a dumpster fire anymore. Oh, Lord. Okay, so I've got, oh, how did the black get separated? This is going to the Peacock Journal and the black and white. Okay, guys, that is it. I can't believe that took an hour. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, I don't know about you, but I feel marginally better. Oh, God. Maybe some days that's the best we can hope for, is to feel marginally better. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I hope you sorted something as I was sorting something. Anyway, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.